Calves. Calves everywhere.
Meet the Peterson family. Our dad, the three Peterson brothers, and our families farm together in central Kansas. Our family farm started in 1882 and has been raising cattle and crops ever since. Please subscribe to this channel and give us a like and a comment if you enjoy the video.
We got 80 hundreds of rain forecast for Tuesday. Today's Saturday, so I'm gonna try to fertilize some wheat. Got 500 gallon pumped, and this thing started blowing out fertilizer from this main seal and pulling really hard. This thing might be done. It's kind of a off-brand thing. It's lasted probably over 10 years. Dad'll probably want to try to fix it, but we're gonna swap it out with this nice banjo one that was on our other rig, and then we'll have to figure out something for a second one, but I'm hoping that'll slide underneath there pretty well. Hey, today is looking up. I'm finally getting some done, and I found this shield that I've been missing since last fall. I could not figure out where it fell off. I went to look for it and I couldn't find it anywhere. It goes right there and keeps all that stuff. I was gonna have to try to order one or something, so this is a good ending to today, even though it was a little frustrating day. I think those were pretty deep drifts if there's still snow there now. All the other snow's been gone a long time. We got some sidekick power going on here. Just needed to move it over a little bit. Nice backing. Making progress, but I need to cut off some stuff. Finally got it to go now that it's almost evening. It's after 5, but I got a load loaded, so I am going to get it off at least. Then we'll see how Monday goes. Okay, pump swap is complete. It's could be refined a little bit, but we're gonna see how it works, and maybe when it rains. Day 3. Didn't rain last night. Just a quick leftover steak with my sprayer idling outside for lunch. Wind's supposed to come up. Hey, Ziva. Nobody cares. Those were basically designed for...
This calf is up. Bill's nursing. Got tagged. Got a few other friends in the pen. His mom wasn't very happy with me, but she's fine. These pairs. Pretty happy on this wheat. As it grows, we are going to limit how much we feed them with the truck. More of their diet will be the triticale. Getting to have some pretty stout calves here. So these cows came over to watch this one be born. This one kind of hung out by its back hips on for a second, so I came over. But the mom's doing its job. It's a bull calf. Should just feed them. Putting some hay in their bunk. Good job. I'm out here on a beautiful day in March, and I made my first tagging mix-up. I tagged 78 as 68, and I thought that 79 was trying to steal that calf. Well, then she ended up coming over here back to a different calf. Maybe she's not trying to steal it, but I really would like to make sure I can figure out which one's with each cow here. And there's one calf that looks like it has not nursed. That's the other reason I want to make sure they're all matched up. It doesn't look near as happy as the other calves. She's the problem cow. She has been butting away other calves and then fighting with one or two moms. And so she's just very protective, but I think she's protective of the wrong calf. That one right there is one of Ada's birthday buddies, number 107. The number 4 is the other one. I'm just really puzzled because I cannot tell which calf is number 2. And so between number 2 and number 79, I really cannot tell. And I had the chance to tag number 2 this morning, but I was kind of in a hurry to help my dad and make it to church. Now I regret it, because then I would have known for sure. It was laying right on the straw, right by its mom. Now they're all mixed up. I got this calf a taste of milk, and now he's being a little more aggressive trying to get his stomach full. He was thin. The cow needs to be a little bit better here. Okay, after a little bit of work, getting them out of the pen and working with the calves, I believe that we have one cow problem. The cow was claiming a different calf, therefore not nursing its own calf. And then we have a calf problem, whereas it's kind of a dummy calf, doesn't want to suckle. It wouldn't really suck on my fingers, couldn't get it to be on the cow. I'm probably gonna bottle out. I let the calves nurse on the first cow. I'm probably gonna take this cow and fill up a bottle with its milk and then try to tube this kind of dummy calf with this cow's milk. I think this will be this calf. Okay, this will be this cow's third calf. And she's never had problems before, so I don't think it's her mothering ability is the problem. I think that calf's just not being very aggressive. I'm really hoping I can get this calf to nurse on that mom without my help by tomorrow, because I had to lock it in the chute today. But it nursed, it figured it out. I'm going to tube the milk into this guy. I took some from the cow, then I added a little colostrum milk replacer. That's 11 ton of mineral, I believe over $500 a ton, like $515 a ton or something. Get this calf nice and again. All right, time to work cattle. Usually we work them Friday or Saturday. This week we're working them Monday. We had birthday parties and dirt work and other things going on over the weekend, so just now getting them worked. All right, I'm 2 layers down today. It's supposed to get to 77 degrees. I've already taken off my jacket and my sweatshirt. About 12 of these 70 were kind of crazy, so they're getting pinned in a different pen. And then we have some really little ones that were off the cow. About 12 of these 70 were kind of crazy, so they're getting pinned in a different pen. And then we have some really little ones that were off the cow. It is t-shirt weather today. It's supposed to hit 77 degrees or something. We got a little snow left. 2 little piles here. When my dad was piling snow out of pen 2A here. All right, these early February calves, we are going to get them hauled out to grass. They're a month old. These lucky ladies get to be 6 of the first 12 to go out on pasture. And they were the earliest to calve, and so calves got to be 1 month old. We're gonna take them out there. The grass is actually, starting to green a little bit.
80 degrees today.
Yeah, that's wild. We're gonna have like 5 days over 70, 5 days with highs over 70 this week.
We've got a pallet and an auger funnel thing.
Just keep going with the calves, go under that gate.
Going under the gate.
I think it happened last year. With another 6 pair. I dump them out here. Got some calves coming from Belleville. 2/3 of them are off the cow, and then the last 21 will be weaned. So excited to see what they look like. Heading into pen 2 here. Gonna lock them up. Okay, I came out to check on these ones. I was pretty busy when we were getting cattle in. Oh, there's all the dots of the little calves. I was pretty busy when we were getting cattle in, and then I went to town for an errand tonight with my family, so ate supper and then rushed off. Didn't get a chance to look back here after the second load, but they seem to have respected the hot wire, and we'll see if we get any more hauled out to match them the rest of the week. Calves bellered all night. Distiller's truck came in the morning. But it's a sorting day. 6 and 7 for a big load of steers. They weighed 901 2 weeks ago. Well, their older brothers weighed 901 2 weeks ago, so we are going to look at these. These ones run through our November and early December purchases. We got over 50 bigs from the first pen. Now we got another pen to look through. They haven't been on feed as many days. So the first group was November through early December purchases. These were, I think, the purchases from like December 12th and 19th maybe. Time to put the cattle back. And we got a full load of steers here. So when you sort a group of matching ones to sell, you can tell kind of what your weight range is by looking at the ones that were the last to be sorted off. And the last to be sorted off of this group still weighed well over 825. So that tells me this group's gonna weigh pretty heavy because those 825s didn't fit. Which means we'll have more cattle to sell in another 2-3 weeks. Steers this week, heifers next week, maybe steers again. So we sorted those cattle first, then we fed these ballers. We get some pellets too on top of that hay. Hadn't quite cleaned up their feed overnight. So with sucking calves, we give them just a little bit of ration. First couple days, it's mostly hay and then some pellets. Get them used to the bunk. Most of them have never seen a bunk before they've been on pasture or wheat or something with their mothers. But if anybody has any bunk broke, especially with like exposure to silage, fall calves you want to sell off the cow or maybe wean 30 days or something, we'd be in the market for them. We'll be buying all the way through March, April, and into early May. If you want to sell us your fall calves, let me know. We'll try to figure out a price that works for both of us. Otherwise, we'll be buying from sale barns here this spring. Okay, 53 freshly tagged. Now I've got to find 109. There's always a cow or two like that goes psycho whenever I start tagging. This calf wagging its tail is the happiest it's been its whole life. You got to figure yourself out, cow. Well, that's good news. See, that calf's finally nursing on its own. So I won't have to put her in the chute again. This cow, however, gotta figure out what to do with her. And there we have it. Now I've seen both of them nurse in the same afternoon. This one, I gave it a shot of vitamin E and A, and it was like a calf booster shot from the vet. And literally within minutes, decided to nurse. So I suppose that's a good endorsement of that shot. I also supplemented the one on the right with about 3/4 of a bottle because I don't know that its mom is producing a whole lot of milk. Every time I've milked her, it seems to run out. But I was hoping that it was just she was out of milk because the calf had drained her down. But that is really good news. I have never seen that calf at that cow nursing. So I brought out a bottle to tube it, but now it's drinking. Got another freshie. That's about as easy as it gets to tag. About 10 steps from the tractor. Cow didn't really move, and the calf didn't move. So this is a pretty good set of 23 weaned ones from Belleville. We're gonna work them this morning. My dad and I probably won't work the second calves yet. The last three groups, both, I think one group from El Dorado, a group from Salina, and this group here, we've gotten a lot of Charolais heifers, so I'm almost wondering if midsummer we're gonna be able to sort up a group of Charolais. I've never done that before, but if you take the Charolais sell a little stronger, then they kind of pull down a load lot that's mostly blacks. But if you sell them a little separate, sometimes the Charolais buyers will bid them up because they've got good frame to them, and then there'd be a higher percentage black on another heifer load. There's a real fresh one. It's funny, you give cattle straw and everything, they don't always, and dry place to lay, they just like out them in the corner. So my dad and I decided to separate off. We're gonna combine two pens into one, two pens of calves into one. And so that means we're gonna make leave a separate smaller pen for these last 15 or something to calve. I don't know how many is in here.
All right, we have been working on this pond for the last couple days. Been building up the dam a little bit more. You can see there. We're basically to where anywhere there's stocks will not be underwater, and anywhere there's not stocks, will be. So you can see it kind of extends that way and extends that way. We've been doing some filling on some low spots, trying to get it to where it'll be ready for the drip irrigation to be installed. But we're getting pretty close to being done. Dad's been helping me quite a bit. We've been using the Kenworth dump truck with this John Deere loader. You can really move dirt quickly and farther away that way, just to keep building the dam up. We just want to make sure the dam is plenty high. You know, you don't want to risk it getting washed through or anything. So that's what we've been doing.
So we sorted off 7 more pair to go to pasture, and then these, the 7 next biggest, and then these 16 will go back into a different pen than they came from to calve out. So there'll be an 8B. That's all we have left to calve in the spring herd. Well over halfway, probably close to 3/4 of the way done. Here's the ones born in late February, maybe the first couple days of March.
Tractor.
Getting this guy washed off. Our pressure washer wand wore out. It's been around a while. We got a new one on order with our pressure washer guy. Do you guys have a pressure washer guy? We have a pressure washer guy. But, so I'm using this short one in the meantime. The spring craziness has begun. This guy, you ran the wrong way, buddy. I was gonna get that gate for Dad, and you done messed it up. Get out of here. You're doing the wrong thing again. Yeah, let's walk through the pile of junk instead of out the hole in the gate. Go on. Got to get a little manure spread that we hauled out in the winter. Don't have too much.
Spreader is on the move. We have one spot to spread 20 to 30 loads, and another small spot we spread during that really cold snap. Dodge is in tow. So a lot of these steers have been at this sale barn before in early December, and then there was one group from Belleville and then the rest from El Dorado. I write their tag numbers down to match our purchases of the month, and so I know that the first start of the year tags, the last of the tags and the start from 0 to like 10 or 20 were from Belleville. Then the rest of the double-digit tags from when the Belleville one stopped to 100 were all from Salina. So there's a lot of those on this truck. And these are our cattle. All right, here's the heifers I bought. I think they weigh 525. I got 37 all together. And I think this is the highest calves have ever been. I couldn't even buy a bull, like a black bull, between 500 and 600 pounds. I wasn't even close. My bid wasn't even close to that. So things are just going up, 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 especially right here where people are buying for grass. I had to come in here to get the heifer off.
All right, pretty much done. Hard to tell from the ground, but hopefully you can see a little better in the drone video. I'll be underwater when it rains. My head will be underwater right now.
So with all these calves coming in, a lot of times we use like a protein pellet on top of the hay and in my dad's starter ration. So we're getting some of those delivered today. So this truck comes, it's got a stinger, goes up into this bin. So we're putting 12 ton of those pellets right into that cone-shaped bin. My dad can actually pull his payloader underneath and fill his bucket with those.
Okay, on to the next thing. Bonus points to who can tell where I am. That is correct. I am underneath the MacDon, one of the MacDon headers in the shop. This here hydraulic motor has been leaking, and then it drips onto both the center belt and the left belt, which is what it's driving. It seems like that might cause problems, so I am working on getting it off, but it's kind of way up in there. So I take the hoses loose first, and then it looks like 4 bolts, and then I think it'll slide backwards and come out of there. Basically determined I need to take this belt loose in order to reach these bolts. And here you can see the problem with a leaking motor is getting this oily stuff all over in here, and then the dirt and straw sticks to it and builds up, and all those things are going to cause problems. So then while I'm in here, this kind of turns rough, so I probably need to make sure like this bearing is all right. I mean, once I take the motor off, I'll be able to tell. It's good to do it now and not during harvest. Okay, I got this motor out. Here it is. I believe I'm leaking around that seal. Working on getting a seal for that. So a lot of times we get questions about how we put a MacDon flex draper on this 9610 combine. You know, newer combines that have completely different electrical systems and stuff. And they're pretty heavy, you know. But we got a 30-foot head, 30-foot FD75, and then we had to put bigger lift cylinders on the 9610 to be able to pick it up. The ones before wouldn't have picked it up, or at least very slowly. So that does put a little extra stress on our axles. We try not to fill the grain tank just totally full all the time and drive over a bunch of bumps. You know, we try to be smart about it. This combine was already set up, the updated feeder house, to fit a 6 Series John Deere header and had single point hookup. So it already had that. After we got the 35-foot MacDon for the 9770, we really liked it. We thought, and you know, the Drapers feed so well, so we did some research. We got this 30-foot, we got the bigger lift cylinders, and then this head we basically, Dad mostly runs this combine, and he basically runs this header manually. Like, he doesn't have auto height sensors or anything. He's just, when we're cutting soybeans on the ground, he's just watching the manual gauge of the springs. So a MacDon is set up a lot better for just manual running, and you can have you know, your float set up on your combine, or you can have auto height set up. But on his combine, he's basically just running it, and that's how he likes to do it. That's basically how he did it with the 6 Series John Deere head, because he didn't like the sensors trying to tell him what to do. He just wanted to run it. So we got gauge wheels for this one too, which Dad was kind of like, oh, I don't need gauge wheels, but I'm hoping they are useful, and that in some ways they'll take some weight off of the combine and maybe reduce some wear. But it doesn't get a ton of hours. You know, it's our second combine, and this thing feeds so much nicer. We can cut faster, basically all crops, and it just feeds really nicely into that conventional combine. I get in trouble with shop time because I get to do all the things that I've had on my list from like during harvest, when I think, oh, it'd be nice to do this when I had time. I got the leaky hydraulic motor off. We're gonna get a seal for it. I got the pan that goes under the auger was wearing through, so we're gonna get one of those. So I'll be waiting on those parts to put them back in. And then now this header that goes on the older combine, it has a reel speed sensor. The auto reel speed on these older combines like don't work very good, and I don't think they even read the sensor. So basically it's not doing anything on this header, and it's missing, that sensor is missing from our other header. On that header it would read and tell the combine how fast the reel is going, and then as you go faster or slower, it'll speed up or slow down the reel. And on the newer ones, it's a lot more consistent and reliable. Right now, both of them are just running on manual reel speed, so it just runs the same speed all the time, unless and you can manually speed it up or slow it down from the cab. I'm going to take it off of this one, and of course I already pulled the other one back down to Dad's. At some point I'll get it put on to the other one, and then we'll see if we have the auto reel speed, or whatever you call it, on that head. So I think it'll be nice. Things that make me happy to get around to, because a lot of times it takes a while to get around to these type of little projects. Here it is right in here, and I wouldn't have even known about it, but when we got our first one set up and I kind of learned about it, he told me that it was missing from that bigger one. And then I forget when I thought this one to see if it had it, but there it is. So while I'm in here, I'm gonna grease some of these hard to reach grease zerks and stuff that they only need grease like with as many hours we do, probably only every couple of years or something. So we're doing grain farmer stuff around here.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out our music videos linked in the description. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, and explore our website, www.petersonfarmbrothers.com. See you guys next time.